phase. The same president addressed the nation, which we played earlier, in June 2023, promising that they should give in between then and March this year, they will roll out some cushioning policies and cushioning things that will soften whatever the removal of subsidy may have cost in Nigeria. And the president promised release of buses and even supply of grains. Remember then, in large quantities to Nigerians, and even helping the Nigerian farmers. But that seemed not to be the result at this moment.
You see, Ijoma, I think some of these things are not being captured properly. If it is about releasing of grains, they have done that severally. If it's about giving palliatives, they've done that severally.
This is not about palliative.
I'm coming.
Yes.
If it's about releasing buses, don't forget that manufacturing companies will take a gestation period of manufacturing. A bus is not what you just pronounce and they come, particularly the kind of figures we're looking at nationwide. And what I expect to see is a robust collaboration between state governments and federal government. There seems to be too much attention, narrowed down to the federal government, even when we are aware that state governments are getting more in terms of federal allocation since the removal of subsidy than before. But what happens in the states? You hardly see. Once we are shouting about what do you call it, dollar rising. Once they release allocation, these governors will just buy off the dollars in the market, and you see the thing running up. So there are things that state government should do. There are things that local government should do. If you watch President Tinubu very carefully, you see, he's trying to restructure Nigeria in such a way that there will be responsibility in the various tiers of government. The local government level, the local government level of government is been swallowed up by the state governments. So what they call joint account, you don't see anything like in Edo State, for example. You don't get to see local government doing things. You see government just paying salaries and they leave every other thing to the state government. Now he has taken them to court because he wants an interpretation by the Supreme Court so that they will be valid and it will become body of law for the country. So once you are able to do that, then you know that when you are sending money to states, you are also sending money to local government directly, and they will be responsible to their finances. That is a good way to go. You see, if there is complementary, collaboration or engagement on issues across the states, like states buying buses, for example, for their own citizens and all of that. Some states doing ABC and all that. You will be shocked that even the palliatives that the federal government is giving, a lot of these things, they keep them in the warehouses. And when citizens discover, you see them breaking into those lockup stores to carry all of these items. Why do you have to do that? So in a country, we call it federal government, but in practice, it's not actually federal. So first and foremost, we see the president trying to make it federal, because if there is state government, there should be local government, and there should be federal government. So there are laws that will be complementary in nature, such that when you come up with policy, you know how to implement them. There are things that are supposed to be done in the states that are not being done. You see, roads, when roads go bad, they say it's federal road, they will go and mount signboard, like they did in Edo State. Now the federal government is fixing that particular road. They went there and the local government chairman was trying to claim that they are the one doing it because they want to score cheap political points. All of these issues boil down to one thing, that because there's no collaboration, states are living in their own world, then they want the federal government to live in its own world. At the policy level, I think the government is trying, but some of its ministers need to wake up. That must be stated clearly. There's no doubt about that. Because if you ask me, the number of ministers we have now are the ones we are hearing that are actually interrogating issues and engaging with governance. They are very few. And so, at that level, there has to be more discussion, more conversation with Nigerians. Nigerians want to be told things that are happening. You can't score Tinubu low in terms of infrastructure in the last 1 year. You can't score them low. Projects that were continuing and all that he commenced and completed, they are so legion, roads and what have you, even the train ride and what have you. So that kind of spirit, if it continues, if he's able to sustain it and is able to get the necessary resources that is needed to drive other infrastructural development, then things will, mellow down, hardship will mellow down. Because just like the Lagos Calabar Coastal Road, some persons were criticizing it, the opposition. They were criticizing it and said, no, we are not finished, we are not doing that. But I was watching TV yesterday and I saw a lot of indigenous of the coastal communities doing a celebration in Lagos, and they were happy that they want to open up, another economic hub by virtue of that 700-kilometer road. You see, the thinking is different now. You are thinking that it's a waste of money, but some other people are celebrating it because it's going to open up a whole lot of economic activities. And about 10,000 persons will be involved in terms of employment in the process of building that road. What I expected people to be saying is that, please, President Tinubu, make sure that this project does not fall into the category of uncompleted projects. Let this be completed in record time.
Because I wanted to ask about the second Niger bridge that the last administration preached about.
Yeah, but it's completed. But you saw. Yeah, but it's completed. That is not in doubt. Vehicles are passing in. But the point is, you saw a video going around. People are going to even remove some of those metal covers and all of that. They are trying to remove them. So, do you blame federal government for that again? You have constructed the road that
okay. Mr. February, you see, when Nigerians that we know, most of them believe that the economic, let me just use their language, the way they are living in the country today is terrible. Because one, hunger is not a friend to any person. At the time, there was supposed to even be hunger protests. It started in some states, but it was the government was able to control it. And today, the cost of living in Nigeria is high. And when someone is hungry, it becomes a challenge. Nobody sees what the government is doing because they don't even have brains to think of what the government is doing anymore. So, and what is the Tinubu government saying about this? Because for 1 year, Nigerians are thinking that the Tinubu government is not doing anything.
No. You see, it depends on what side of the divide you fall into. It's understandable that things are difficult because the government itself acknowledges that you can take away from the government because the government feels the pulse of the people. And it's a president that is a product of the streets. He led struggles in this country, fought for democracy and all of that. So he understands quite well. And this is where I pick hold with NLC strike every now and then. In the last 1 year, we're going on strike about 3 times. And which time you go on strike, you're also slowing down the economy. You can imagine the labor union going to switch off the national grid and turn the country to complete darkness. You cannot quantify the loss in 24 hours plus about 7 hours of Tuesday that was wasted. And we are battling with raising the economic profile of the country. Then there is a union, which is just a segment of Nigerian population, trying to also cripple the economy the more. Yet you turn around to request for more. When you are carrying out strike, you have to factor in the interest of the larger interest of majority of Nigerians. Because if you look at the percentage of workers in this country, it's almost insignificant.
But when government is it's not yielding to their demands.
Let me land. You see, you don't use strike as an option under an economy that is already troubled, an economy that's undergoing storm and stress. What you should do is you give gap, you give room. There has to be a logical approach to all of this. Do you know how many people die on Monday in the hospitals because you switch off the electricity? Do you know the risk it is? Imagine the UK government for just 6 hours, you take all the light, you turn it into blackout. Do you know what calamity that would be? We just take this for granted. I expect federal government to arrest anybody who had gone to use it because that's a national asset. And it's so important to all of us. If you switch it off and all that, you keep people. By the time you come back and increase the salary, are you going to revive the life of the man who has died as a result of not being attended to in the hospital because there was no electricity?
But sometimes
there are people in ICU, there are people who are doing chemo, there are a lot of people who are going through surgery. That at that time, are you put off electricity?
But let me also take you to another angle to this.
What is the angle?
The angle is, for what has been going on in the country, there are Nigerians who cannot afford medical bills. There are Nigerians who cannot afford the chemo that you are talking about, even before Labour went on strike.
Yes.
There are Nigerians whose take-home pay cannot pay their electricity tariff.
You cannot.
Because you also need to look at this side.
You see, I have looked at the flip side.
Yes.
You see, the consequences of granting the economy of a country, where you are also requesting for so much, are more than the other side. You see, Ijoma, you cannot kill an employer because you want to help the employee. You know something? Abraham Lincoln said it. You can't say because you want to kill an employer or you want to help the employer, you decide to kill the employer. Who will now employ it? If you are requesting for more money from the economy that is already in dire straits, and you think that crumbling that economy is what will help you, by the time other people suffer consequences of your action, how do you pay them back?
People have been suffering it.
I'm
since the announcement.
I'm a private sector person.
Yes, people have been suffering it.
My staff
there should be a balance.
You see, shutting down national grid is not one of those.
Maybe that is to wake up government.
Or hospitals, when they shut down hospitals, you see them go to their private clinics to work. You see, we need to be rational. Labour leaders are shouting, oh, these people are driving SUV, you reduce the number of SUVs. Are they also not driving SUVs? They are driving SUVs. Are they not being escorted by police? So it's just like the pot calling the kettle black. That's the truth. There was a particular Labour officer who was going about with about 16 police. It went viral in this country. Did heaven fall? So the point is, if you are a comrade, show that you are a comrade, you are man of the people. Stop driving SUV, drive your Camry or the Toyota.
But Mr. Feba, the organized labor have been in this battle, in this
political strike.
For over a year.
It's a political
because
strike.
In 2023,
since this government came, Ajero and his other people have been fighting proxy wars. They should know that President Tinubu is the president of Nigeria. He's been elected by majority votes and he must serve his term to 4 years. He will come out or ask for another vote. If we deem it necessary, we'll give him. Otherwise, we'll know. But they should get out of this mentality of thinking that they are fighting proxy wars. Criticizing everything and all of that. You shut down the country, you shut down hospital, you know how many people die?
Anyway,
is it because we take everything lightly in this country?
But the president has said he will meet their demands.
Well, he will meet their demand to the level that the economy can carry. That's what I'm telling you. Because you cannot, the employees are not the only persons and individuals who are suffering in this country. We're all suffering. I'm telling you.
They're suffering and
but you cannot, when your right stops, is the place that another person's right begins.
Mr. Afeba, do you think this is about right? We know that the economy is challenged at this moment. But the people living in the country are also challenged. So how do you strike a balance?
Are you going to demolish a house because the roof is leaking on your head?
And if the roof leaks and leaks to the foundation and the roof and the house
falls, are you going to, because of that, demolish the house?
No, if you don't demolish the house and you allow the roof to leak, it now goes down to the foundation and it destroys the ground, the house. What happens? There are
palliative measures that government has put in place. A lot of them, about 14 items. You see, what I'm telling you is that if there's a 100% increase from 30,000 to 60,000, you say the same labor that were clapping hands for Baseki for increasing minimum wage to 70,000. What is the difference between 70 and 60?
Right.
The same labor that are asking for 494,000. From where? Which economy? Where has labor been in the last 1 year or before now when some state government are paying 15,000 naira?
All right. Our time is gone.
There are state government that are not even paying 30,000 naira.
Yes, we know. But why don't we ask the corrupt politicians where is our money?
No, it's not about politicians. Corrupt civil servants. Go to the ministry what they are running there. Go to ministries. The shopping malls and plazas in this town are owned by civil servants. What are we talking about?
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
If they want to challenge us, tell them to show their account. Let them display their accounts and see the kind of money they control.
Thank you so much.
We need a reform in the civil service.
He's a journalist. If I allow him, he will talk the show off. So he's a journalist and also a politician, a chieftain of the APC in Edo State. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
It's a pleasure.
All right.
Thank you very much.
That's the much we can take on the program tonight, but we'll leave you with some report from State until tomorrow 7 p.m. Follow me on X, formerly Twitter, at EG Osamo. Good night.